There was a tremendous rainstorm last night, and rain did manage to blow through the holes, the exit holes for smoke through the pipe, and they did trickle down, and there was some water coming out the bottom. It's stainless steel, it's not going to hurt the stove. So I had a rain cap that I could put on. There's a little roof that protects rain from getting in. By taking this here section out, I'll just lift it up. There you go. Now you can see how there are holes inside under the top there. That's to let the smoke out. Now, when I lift this up, you'll see there's quite a few. So this here part is covering some of them. It still works great, hasn't been an issue, but I had to put this on because the rain was starting to blow in sideways from a really bad storm we had. So it works just fine, no problem like this. Putting her back on, everything's good. So it still works great, even though it is covering some of the holes. I've never had a problem with it yet, so these bad storms have really tested it, and it's doing just fine. So when you look at the stove from the back, you can see there is a little bit of a different coloration up here than down here. This is its normal color. So you can see back here, there's no heat coming out of the van, or the van, from the stove. And that's because the stove is built with an extra layer on the inside of it, and it moves the smoke around, and it helps burn all of the wood as a result. So there's heat out the top and the back. There's heat out obviously on the top of the stove for sure. There's heat on the sides that escapes, and again on the other side the same thing. Now I have these baking pans on the side, and so far, even with the stove at 350 degrees to 400 degrees, this one on this side is warm to touch. That's it. I can touch it with my hand, not a problem. The one on the right side is a little further away, and it doesn't even barely get warm at all. It's like there's no temperature change. The air is warm in the middle, and it's just barely even heating up. It isn't even heating up, actually. The hottest one is the one that goes up here in the ceiling, which is closest to the elbow. That's the one that does get pretty toasty, but it seems to be really good. That one is really, really a solid piece up there. There's lots of heat that goes off the top, and there's none underneath. There's absolutely no heat that goes out underneath. I do have another pan down there just to catch in case there was heat, but so far it's just done a great job at collecting ashes when I clean the stove out. So the last one I used to have was a pan on the back door right over here, and I've removed it because it doesn't even get hot at all, because all that heat is above that line. So yeah, so heat wise it puts it out forward with the fans, the sides, and the top. Super good. Another feature that is really, really good about this Dweller Max stove is the fact that it's super simple to clean. The bottom of the stove on the inside has a grate, and you just push all the ashes through the grate, boom, they drop down into the tray, pull the tray, empty it out, put it back in, done. All right, so when you open the door up, you can see the ashes inside, and I'm just going to take this broom and swish the ashes in to the tray. It's a little bit full, actually. I should empty that out first, but you can see the ashes go through, and there's very little wood left over, just a couple of pieces. Yeah, just a few chunks from the other burn. And there, it's clean. It's totally cleaned out now, except for these little bits on the right hand side. And that's pretty good. So then I just pull out the tray, and she's good to go. And as I mentioned earlier, back of the stove on the inside has that plate which helps move the heat more through the stove And because it's stainless steel, it heats up fast. Cools down quick too, which is really good if you need to drive anywhere or something like that after a morning or something. So these slots are part of the vent for the window. See on the door? Now what they do is they help really keep that glass clean. Now that was just burned last night, and that glass is really clean. That's impressive, really. It's pretty cool. That's one of the really nice features of this door. Now also on the Max Dweller is the vent down here. So if I pull out the tray, put it down, you can see right here, I think, right in here, see right there, that will open and close. So that's the other vent, that's the lowest vent that gets the major air in and out. And the last and third one is up top on the stovepipe itself. So those three vents are fantastic at being able to achieve the heat you want, monitor it, and not let it get too hot or too cold. That's fantastic. Then the fans on top, which you can see a little bit of here, the ones that I got. Now I found these to be a little bit loud. They're not bad, they're pretty good, they work great, but they're a little on the loud side for me. I prefer it a little bit softer, so I'm looking for another fan that is going to be completely silent. Now, they may not be completely silent, but so I'm looking for another fan that'll be more silent than these two little Jaspers are. So I'm hoping I will achieve that soon. Now, I have, because the stove is at an angle here, you can see this here, the stove pipe goes up straight, in my case, because of the way the door is, because of the way the door slants in, because I have an added on rooftop. So it goes up, does the 45, another 45, and goes up. Because of that, coming away from the stove instead of straight up like would be in a normal tent, hot tent stove, the pipe would just go straight up. So, but because I've got that, the pipe wants to lean out a little bit from the center. So when it goes through the ceiling, it has a little bit of that lean to the outside. So I stuck a little bit of extra silicone up here so that it won't have direct contact with the metal here. Therefore, it'll be just a little bit cooler than if it was direct contact. With the 3 dampers, the window that stays really clean, the portability of it to take up and take down, the heat it produces, I usually keep it around 350 to 400 degrees. And for a van, that is way more than adequate. Where I sleep with my head at the other end of the bed and my feet are at this end closer to the stove. And so it can be around 72 to 80 degrees in this area, and at that end it's around 65, 70, right around there, depending on how the fans are hitting it. So it has, you know, if your van is insulated, if you've got good insulation, you're going to hold that heat. So 350, 400 degrees, that's ample, totally ample in this space. It's such a small space in a van. So if you're looking for a dry heat that's portable, take it down at the end of every winter season and put it back up in the next one, then the Pomoly might be the way to go for you. For me, the dry heat, it's fantastic, love it. You got the romance of a big window, you can see the flame when you want to. Yeah, all the boxes are checked for me. This is a great stove, and it was worth it for me. I hope that helps you out if you're looking into this type of stove. And thanks very much for watching. You know what to do if you want to. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And we'll see you on the next video. Hope you have a fantastic new year. Cheers. And it pushes the 400 and 450 degree range, which is good enough, but it made it well over 80 degrees Fahrenheit in here, which was a little too hot. I had to open the ceiling fan and kick the doors open and let the heat escape. And on the, have to move the light now. Let it roll, let it go out in the night, and then in the morning I put it on put it on as well. And in the Pacific Northwest where I am right now, the damp winter air, this is the perfect thing to have with that dry heat. And it's so easily, let me try this again. What the hell? Super good. Yeah, there you have it. Super good. Exceptional. Super good. Yeah, super good. 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 But also, because the stove, that smoke, or because the ashes, how efficient the Pomoly is, and how it fits basically all the boxes that I need for in a van having a temporary